man, I can't move. Right then, I couldn't. I had my feet against the sack this way to use the gun, and there was two layer sack, and they hit the other side of that where he was laying, and through all this, but my leg, everything got paralyzed, got broken. My foot, I had some overshoes, and when I could take them off after they dragged me out of there, I took them off. My toenails, there's just one of them out of the whole, both feet that stay intact.
Yeah.
The rest of them, what I do is just, they didn't hurt at all. Just pull them out. Concussion, and him on the other side, it hit him. Then they hurt him, they throw it again. And right then he said, well, French, I don't believe I can get up, my arms off. My legs blown off. Then I heard him just go down to where he could hear no more. I said, French, good, lucky I can't move. Then they come out there, one on each side, said, come around. Then I said some word that I can't say. And you don't think, I mean, right then, you don't think.
Right.
And big bayonet, and they said, come around, come around. I said, yeah, damn four-letter word. I said, yeah. Anyway, he said, so he come out there and he grabbed me, pulled me out of there. He said, bum, candy. I had some fruit bars. I gave him each one of them, and they dragged me outside on the board. And there was so many of them, were like an ant nest in German. And some of them guys was kind of hit so bad and shell shocked, they walking all over. And so we standing out there, and they would walk around, and they'd put it against the wall and try to keep him calm so they don't mix up with a bunch of German. And I'm laying down, 2 or 3 of us, and they took that little medic. He was from Bronx. Said, you go upstairs. There was a company upstairs on the 2nd floor. He said, you tell Lieutenant Lane, come down and surrender, or we're going to blow it. And if you're not back in 5 minutes, all your comrades. I said, buddy, you better be back. You know, we didn't think nothing. We just, and here I am, I couldn't feel nothing. And so that one of them guy, he could understand, I speak French. He was a Frenchman, but he went with them, and he said, tell your comrade to get against the wall. He said, that lieutenant German out there, he's going to kill him. They already killed so many of them, they didn't care 1 or 2 more. I said, buddy, you better hit that wall. I said, they got there that they did get close. That's when we started on our journey back to where I lived, but we went through that damn hospital. I said, well, go to Muna and all that. Took us, I don't know how long, but we put on us one of those half-track truck. They got them German big old, put the 2 or 3 of us on top, and we had to go through our own American line to get in the back of there with them 105 and 155, 55. House to those big guns hitting all over. Man, it was like a thunderstorm.
So, in other words, you said Lane, he ended up surrendering then, or?
I don't know what happened. I know they backed up. They had 2 or 3 of them 88 guns up there that shoot it and tear up the whole side of that wall. And then they move aside. Hell, one of them you can drive a car through that hole. They probably, there's only two or three that I met in the back after we got in the prison camp that we stick together.
Oh, really? I see.
That was caught in the same bunch.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what happened to the rest of them.
I see. That's interesting. And all that happened like just over the German line then.
We was across that Siegfried line they call Battle Border. That's what it, we got 2 of those bronze stores from the Rhineland and but it was, you don't think what's going on. You just go through and then don't look back. Because it's General Patton, I've seen him in the morning about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, riding back in of a Jeep, muddy, rain, cold, around the holidays out there with his troop going through us and hitting the front. Give us a runaway so we could go through. Oh, he wasn't caring.
He'd go get him.
You got some leader like that. You got somebody like that. I mean, you say, hey, if you can't do it, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
You don't play that way sometimes.
Well, what was the? Do you know like who was in command as far as when y'all got rescued, when y'all were liberated there?
The German.
No, no. What about on the American side? Do you know who it was that was responsible?
We got back on this, them in France. We all pushed it on one side. They got doctors and everything else went through, and I don't really know who was the who. We just want to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back to New York, I believe we was the first prisoner to hit the state.
Is that right?
They had big band and big thing going on in Camp Kilman, New Jersey. That's what we came back to.
Mm-hmm.
Big steak and the big stuff, and you couldn't eat a peanut butter sandwich would get me the fever.
Is that right?
I mean, you don't eat for so long in your stomach. You eat a little bit, and
Took a while to adjust, huh?
I didn't even feel like eating rice no more.
God, that must have been bad.
Now that's bad. It took me a long time before I could eat rice. My sister had sent some fried chicken. They were canning them. They sent me a box with some fried chicken, but it never caught up with me. When I was hit the front, we got our stuff. All my belongings came back after I was back from overseas.
Is that right?
They never did caught up with. I got those 2 cans of fried chicken they had done at the school. And after I got back, I decided I'm gonna eat it. It tastes good over there, but it looked like it went all that.
Yeah.
And rice, it took me a while before I could get, but I can tear it up now.
You can tear it up now.
If you don't have no rice, you don't have nothing.
There you go. Well, speaking of mail and stuff, when y'all were going through France and Belgium and all, and how often were you able to get mail through there?
After we hit the front, not at all.
Uh-huh.
No, it all came back after I come back from overseas.
Is that right?
We got in France there before we hit the front, there and in Belgium. We got a few letters.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, it did. After I was back, well, my family, they didn't have no news, and the Red Cross sent a letter that I was missing in action.
Mm-hmm.
So that lasted about, that was a couple of months, I guess, after I was in there. Missing in action, that's all it was. There was so many missing in that place. We all got caught in there and it stayed like this until I was aboard ship coming back. They gave us some card to send home.
Oh,
that I was a prisoner of war and I'm doing fine and I'm okay, and they never said that. So we got in New York and Camp Kilmer, then we Camp Shelby, Mississippi, and then we head for New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So we got in New Orleans, man, with Papa Caro and Bruce, and we decided to spend the night in New Orleans and say, hey, we home. Why the rush go home? I didn't know, but they thought I was missing in action. That's all they knew.
Uh-huh. So they didn't get that card that said that you...
No.
Okay.
So I guess next morning we took off on the train to head back home. Said, let's stay a while. So we stayed all day. Anyway, we hit Lafayette about 2 o'clock in the morning. Got off of that train and I said, well, I'm gonna get me a cab. And there was a fella who used to run that jewelry store shop in Lafayette.
Uh-huh.
I'd been there a few times, and he said, man, when he found out who I was, he told that cab he'd take him anywhere he wanted to go all night and bring me the bill in the morning. I said, I just want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So he took me home, and we were living about 10 miles out of town. Got to the house, I guess, about 3 o'clock in the morning. They all asleep, and I knocked on that door. I said, hey, nobody open the door when I come in. I like to kill them all. You know, now that I know, I shouldn't have done it. My mother and my brother and them, and they knew I was missing in action. That's all it was.
Uh-huh.
And here I come knocking on that door.
And what time of the year was this? Or what year was this when you came back home?
That was in 44, at the end of 44. It all started the first 44. All through the year, we went through all the front and back, and let's see. Then I stayed here. I had to go back. They gave me 60 days off. And then I was reassigned to go back to the Pacific. Europe had gave out. I mean, it was over with. But I had to go back, and I still couldn't go back to the Pacific. Then the war ended finally.
So before you got to the Pacific, it ended, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was in Indiana then. Separation Center, working in discharge, with paper. Then on November the 28th, on my paper, like I went in, I was inducted like the 28th November, 42, but I didn't went till December 42. Everything on my paper is the 28th. Hid overseas, the prison camp, and
so 28's your lucky number.
I got discharged on the 28th November.
Just my birthday.
So I had
Is
for
that
New-
right?
And that was her birthday on the 28th. Shit.
Well, you better pick that number on the lottery, huh?
So we left from Indiana for New Orleans on the 28th November, and it was frozen up there for it. Got in New Orleans, it was about 60 degrees. It was hot. So I came back. I didn't mind to go back. I wanted to go back. That saw it. I said, Frenchie, you already all bust up. My foot was still. I couldn't wear regular shoes. I said, you're gonna go at that. They're gonna shoot at you. I said, you get my chance to shoot back. But then I got home on the 28th November. Then the holidays and everything till after New Year, Christmas. That kind of changed my mind. Because I had to go back to Army occupation then.
So when were you discharged? What day and what year?
November the 28th, 1945.
And then you got this. We can go ahead and pick that up there and
Oh,
carry.
that's a brown star. I got two of them, but they give you one. They should give you two pictures. I got two stars.
Okay.
No, it's
Tell you,
just-
let me zoom in on that thing there. Okay.
European theater of operation. Ron Land. So I'm not gonna read. But those other medal I have, I'd like to keep that. But I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you what, hold it up there, Pa. I'm gonna put it on there. Let's see. Let me zoom in on
I
it.
got a Purple Heart coming up, and it never did, Ken. They had it on the, because anytime you get hurt, it's, until they sent it in a few years after I was back.
Okay.
On my Army discharge, they got a different thing about behind the enemy line and all that kind of.
So you saying you got a Purple Heart, or they?
No, well, I'm supposed to have it,
Uh-huh.
and it didn't came up when the rest of them came over.
It didn't come out.
I got one of them. It's achievement for an achievement behind the enemy line, or something like that.
Mhm.
And then on the back end of it, it's like a star, and signed by President S. Truman.
Mhm.
Then he was the president then. And it was one I wanted to keep, and I just don't know where they went.
Is that right?
When I first come back and all that, there was nothing to me really.
Yeah.
Now you get middle age, you think about you'd like to have those things then.
Mm-hmm. You was just worried about getting some rice and gravy in you.
Get my rice and gravy in. And my old garden.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, as a matter of fact, speaking of the garden, I was going to wrap up by, well, real quick, we'll just go ahead and So after you got back and were discharged, what did you do then?
I went back on the farm, stayed with I lived with my brother-in-law and my sister, farming back on that for about 4 years, going to school, agriculture.
Mm-hmm. What school did you go to?
I was going to GD's, high school. We had a class up there for that.
Oh, is that right?
This fella from Lafayette and LSU would come there. Sometimes it was on law, I'm a lawyer, make a class on it. Then when I learned very good about agriculture and stuff like that, well, I opened a bar in Lake Charles. That was, but after about 4 years farming, it didn't make nothing. No. So we opened a business, we married then.
Okay.
And we moved to Lake Charles and opened that H&H and done pretty good.
The H&H, where was that located?
On Old Highway 90 by the Swiss plant, they got short
the
there.
cafe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Restaurant and a little bar on the side.
I remember that place. I remember getting a little candy and stuff there every now and
Sure do.
Then
yeah.
we sold that out. We bought a liquor store and an apartment in town up there for a while.
And what year did y'all get married? I put you on the spot.
I said
huh?
49.
49.
In 1949. Hey, it was in December. I'm sure.
December the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was a lot of snow.
A lot of snow. Well, okay. So did you know Nanny?
Oh yeah.
When you were in the war, you had known her before you left, then to
A
go.
long time before.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see. And did you write to him then?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
I still got us a little present. She set up a little thing that shaping mug and stuff just like this. I wrote on it the date and then I just put it up.
Well, that's
That
interesting.
was before I went overseas up there. There was nothing coming in.
Okay. Well, thanks for your patience and telling about it here.
I guess we could say, if we start talking about what we went through out here and all that before we went, you can stay 3 days. There was some worse part than we talked about, but that's something you don't even want to remember.
You're talking about over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine so. Some things are better left unsaid, then I guess.
I tell you what, if somebody want to go in, like when you went in for it, it's, if I'd had a son right now, like, I wouldn't mind to see him go in, because sooner or later you might have to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that means a heck of a lot. You see people and you learn different people and get along to bring you up in life.
Yeah, I know it's definitely had a positive effect on me personally as far as traveling goes and getting to experience different cultures and different people.
Seeing different people and everything. In France and that, they speak French, but not like we do.
Yeah.
Some part of French, but some other parts, I mean, it's not real, just like English.
Right.
We don't speak English. You get in with them English people, if they're mad at each other, you don't even understand what they're saying. Now them German out there, we was in German out there, and we bivouac in the field out there, and the neighbor would come bring us some cognac.
Uh-oh.
And I couldn't drink that stuff anyway, but they'd get to talk and they'd get an argument which one gonna do it and one that had. And when he said cochon, that's a pig, he said, you cochon. And then he spit on the ground, he gonna hit.
That's it, huh?
Oh yeah, but we had a lot of good part. I mean, I don't regret I went, because it's a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, you didn't go on a vacation to Europe, but you got to see it anyway. Well,
There was a lady at the hospital the other day. She said they had just flew in from out there. Her husband was in Germany, so everything's built up and real nice. imagine what I've seen out there that could be all built up.
Mm-hmm.
Something that never will.
Yeah. Well, what about your own personal feelings about German people? Let's say, you know.
Oh, they're nice people.
Uh-huh.
They're
So-
religious people. I tell you what. Except them young. We had a war going on.
Uh-huh.
But them young 18, 17-year-old, I mean, that's all they were brainwashed enough. They go, we're going to take over America, and that was it.
Uh-huh.
And just like they were doing about Russia, they wanted to take Russia too, but between all of them together, they couldn't take it.
Yeah.
But they were taught that since they were born. Now the older guy, they wasn't trying too much.
Mm-hmm.
But they were in the prison camp we were. Every Sunday we had 2 or 3 minister and Catholic and different religion would come over and say the mass out there. We all dirty and all, but they still, and we'd get in every one of them.
Is that right?
No matter what
Imagine so.
religion it is, we went. So, no, they believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if like the Japs or Japan or place like this, I mean, they're different people. China, they're not like the Germans are. After we moved to Lake Charles, the German people were some of our best friends out here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a German coast here in Louisiana. A lot of our ancestors have been.
Tajik.
German.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His dad's German.
They had a few years back. We had the drive-in out here by Papa's.
Uh-huh.
And there's two couples that one morning, they fell from New York and his wife were stationed in Germany. Then after 2 or 3 years out there, they decided to come back. They were discharged, so they brought their friend, another couple, young people, I guess about 19,
Mm-hmm.
to New York, and they were well-off people, so they got an old beat-up Plymouth. And they want to tour America, and they said, whatever it break, we're going to leave it. And fly home.
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped at the cafe one morning. We got it there one Saturday morning, and they were parked in the front, sleeping in the car. The water pump went out.
Oh.
So we got in there, and this fella, he was speak American, I mean English better than I can anyway, but they were German, and they were their friend, and they got talking, and he said, was you in Germany? I said, oh yeah, I was out there. He said, when? I said, the big one, the WW2,
Mhm.
World War II. He said, what was he doing there? I said, shooting at your daddy. He said, what was he doing? I said, shooting at me. He said, you know not be a good shot because he's still living.
So he's not a good shot either.
That's the kind of people they are. I mean, they're nice people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not, they had to fight back. Or they didn't want to fight, but they were pushed to it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to fight more than I was. When I was in the prison camp out there, I couldn't hear. My eardrum was all bust out, shell shock and all that. But they come in there and they wanted to check. And I'm laying on a little cot. And they start arguing about one thing and another. And they said, well, we're going to push him out. And that old doctor said, no, we can't. They said, we can't. After all, they thought I had that bad sore throat, what you call it, diphtheria,
Strep throat or something?
strep throat. Because they get that disease out there, and there was much chance for them. And they thought I had that, but it was mostly my eardrum.
Uh-huh.
Because after a while, hell, I could do like this after it got to leak, and I'd push hard on it and suck it, and pus would come out all over
Good.
my ears. But that German, he didn't know, we're going to leave him here, we're going to find him, take care of him. He was afraid I'd give it to somebody else.
Okay. Well, we'll wrap up. The light's getting kind of hot in here.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Pa. Appreciate it.
There's no problem. I don't
And,
want to go back through it. I'm satisfied I went through. I'm glad about it now that this experience is something you don't even dream of.
Mhm.
But I don't want to go back.
Yeah. Not even now, just to look at it, to look at the place.
Oh, I'd like to make a trip out there again.
Mm.
if I wouldn't be scared of an airplane, I got seasick when that plane coming back to Lahore. I don't want no more plane. I wouldn't mind to fly over. Like in France on this end, they got this place, Saint-Lô. There was nothing. They can't rebuild that. There's no way in the world. They'll have to get a bulldozer and push it off and rebuild a new one. They said they wanted to put a fence around it. Because the American, that was kind of that port. The German. American bomb it, they moved back, and then they bombed the American in there, they moved back, they done that 3 or 4 times. American was bombing when we were in there. The American was bombed, they get so mixed up. We had a lot of American got killed with our own bomb.
Imagine
by
it
mistake, but not knowing when they push it. So, but that town, there was nothing left. Nothing looked like a house at all. It was just a pile of bricks and like a trash pile.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to
That's enough.
wrap it up. Yeah, we're gonna have to get on here. Let me see.